Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. In this lesson we will go over variables in Java. So first we will go over what are variables and how to declare them. Then we'll go over some data types. Then how we can assign values to variables. After that we'll go over named constants and then some naming conventions, and at the end we will go over some common errors. So what are variables? Variables are used to represent values that can be used or changed in the program. So how we declare variables, we can use int. Int is the data type, and int length. So this is a variable length of data type int. So that's one, and then we can use string. So we can use a data type of type string with the my name. So this is how we declare variables of type int and string. And we can use something else as well, char, which represents a character, character a, like that. So what are data types? Data types, as the name says, data type. So data types are given to variables, so Java knows what type of data it can carry. For example, a string. So a string is a data type. A string can hold a text like this with double quotes, right? And a character data type can hold a single character only. A data type with integer can hold whole numbers like 45, 35, but it cannot hold numbers with decimal values, right? It cannot do that. It can only hold numbers with, so int can only hold whole numbers. Double has the capacity to hold numbers with decimal points, right? 24.145, it can hold that as well, right? A boolean is can hold two types of values only, a true or a false, and it should always be written like this, all lowercase, true and lowercase false. And these are some commonly used data types. How do we assign values to our variable? So for example, we create a variable int y, right? How do we assign a value to this? Y equals 5. So that's how we assign. There is another way to assign value. Int x equals, so we can also do that. Another way to initiate or declare a data type is int x, a comma b comma c, and then this. Okay, so this is how we declared our variables. And we can also assign values. A equals 6, right? And then b equals 7, and then c equals 9, right? So we can do that. Another way is way to assign is, we also have character, right? Character t equals single quotes always in order to assign value to a character variable as e. Okay, and for example, if you wanted to use string, you need to use double quotes. So this is the difference between assigning value to a string or a character. In character you will need single quote, in a string you will always need double quotes. So this is my string, right? So now what are named constants? Named constants are identifiers that you know will have a constant value, and you always use the keyword to identify something as a named constant is final, and then the keyword final, and then the data type double, and then you enter the name of variable. And you can also use all capital letters. For example, we want the value of a pi, right? Pi equals 3.14159. So this is our constant, like a final variable, right? It will always, we know, it will always have that particular value. So the only benefit of this is you don't have to, you don't want to change the values, right? You declare it once and you use it through your program. It is always recommended that we use meaningful names. For example, you want to calculate area, right? So instead of using x, y and z, right, we should use int length, width, area, right? So area, so that we know, and it is easy. You want to name a variable that has a very big name, try to use camel case. For example, you want you can declare an int variable, length in kilometers, right? You can use that. It's so the reason behind using a longer variable name is it is more descriptive. It makes us easier to read, right? It is more readable. And also, please don't use capital letters at first, other than naming a final variable, right? A final variable can have all capital letters. That is also a kind of naming convention, so don't use this kind of naming convention for a normal variable. Always try to use a lowercase at first, and then you can use uppercase however you want. Another thing is try to avoid using numbers in your variable names. So another thing I could think of is, yeah, and avoid using keywords. You can use it, but it will confuse, right? You can use them, but it will create you a confusion for you. You cannot use this class because it is a keyword, right? You're using class there, so you cannot use it. So use something else. Yeah, you can use this. Yeah, and I believe that is it. For example, this is an int, right? In int you cannot use string. You cannot use a string, right? If you want to use string, you must change it to string. It will work fine. Yeah, so you can use this. And if you want to use character, char, right? A character can only and only hold one character. It cannot hold multiple characters. It can hold a number, but it will be taken in as the data type character, right? So it will not work as an int. You cannot use it to multiply, add, or divide. You cannot, because this is a character data type. If you want to, you can change it back to int. And you also need to make sure you change this to like that, right? So that is that. And something another thing is, you cannot say my value int equals 5, right? You cannot do that. You cannot. So there is a way. So the only way is like this, right? Int my value 5, because always we always have data type variable name. So this is the way we always use data type. It can be int, character, or string, or even boolean, and then whatever variable name you want to. Please avoid using keywords like public, class, or static, or void. Please avoid using that. Try using camel case. So this is camel case. First alphabet is small, and then the next one is uppercase, and use equals and use whatever value. So if you do this, another thing is you cannot do this. It always have to have equals. Equals means you're assigning a value 5 to this variable, right? And I think that is it. Thanks for making it to the end, guys, and please do like, share, and subscribe. It motivates me to make more content like this. Thank you.